Safety has obviously been very much at the heart of what Volvo does, and during this transformation period, well, I suspect that safety will continue to be a very big thing. Well, one man who knows all about it is the CEO, Håkan Samuelsson. Håkan, you're halfway through the transformation, but how far do you expect the transformation to go? Where do you want to end up?
With a much bigger and more profitable company, really, and that is based on better products and how we bring them out to our customers. And one very important aspect of our cars has always been safety, so that's why we are of course focusing on that and see how can we take the next step.
We've seen lots of changes over the last few years, particularly to do with powertrains, the change in the diesel market. Have you been surprised how quickly the whole world seems to have moved away from diesel and towards hybrid?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it has always been a fast-moving business, but now there is a lot of things being compounded here. I mean, a new powertrain, electrification, and all of the new tech what that can offer in autonomous drive, which is really also the next step here in safety, because so far we just protect the guy with the airbags and seat belts, but in the future we will of course also secure that the crash never happens. So that is the next step. So all of this new technology moves our business, including the relationship with the customers, really.
Where is the future for Volvo?
It is really having the brand with the values for a future society. So, I mean, we don't believe necessarily people want to have a car with a lot of horsepower, which drives good on a curvy road. I think it's much more about the digital experience inside the car, and also, of course, that is a car that protects what's important for you, safety, environmental performance. That's really what we want to build into the Volvo brand.
Where are the growth areas for the business? You're obviously owned by a Chinese company, but surely the US is also going to be big. And how are you going to develop mature markets?
But in mature market, I think is exactly what I said, having a car that really meets the expectations of the customers, delivering the values they feel are important for them. But then it's of course growing. China is still a huge market, and we still are underrepresented, I would say. So if we would have the same market share as we have in the US or Europe, for example, there is still headroom. So, and then of course you have India, Latin America, new markets all the time. But basically the core of Volvo will still be in Europe, continental Europe, China and the US.
Looking at your lineup, where would you say there are gaps as customers' habits are changing?
Yeah, you could say gap, of course. Customers are preferring smaller cars. That is a gap we are now filling with our new XC40. It's a smaller SUV. SUVs are very popular, and now also especially the smaller ones. So that is one gap. And then you would say there will be new gaps created more or less, because I think electric cars, for example, will be very attractive. So we need to very rapidly develop our cars for electric drive to fill that future market which will come. So we plan to have half of our cars being battery electric cars 2025, and the other half will be hybrids.
What happens to diesels? The S60 already doesn't come in a diesel option. Where do you see the move towards electric? Will you ever go fully electric?
Yes, fully electric will be first car next year, introduced sometime in the end of next year. But as I said, 2025, half of the cars being sold will be all electric. And there will still be room for hybrid cars, and we will then have hybrids with petrol engines, and that's really when you want unlimited range. But diesel is a really good engine. It will be environmental friendly, I mean, but it will be rather complicated and it will be expensive. So I think we have taken the decision to prioritize hybrids based on petrol, and really having the resources to develop all electric cars as fast as possible. I believe you cannot do everything in a company like Volvo, so you have to have the courage to prioritize, and we have done that.
When you look at the change away from diesel. Were you surprised how quickly, particularly in Europe, the drop-off? I think 2015, something like 85% of your vehicles were diesel, dropped to 2/3, and they're dropping all the time.
Absolutely, and I must say it's faster, and I think we underestimate the effect of the economy for the customers, because if they are nervous about the second-hand value, of course, then you go for a car which will not drop as fast. And I mean, as a result of everything that has been discussed about NOx in cities, of course customers are concerned about the used car value, and I think that has pushed the development to petrol cars faster than maybe we thought. But we are fortunate there to have a very flexible system. We build both engine in the same factory and can rather easily then just ramp up petrol engine production.
If you look at your current lineup and you look at the sort of the T8s, the big hybrids, that's got a significant premium to it. You're already a premium brand, so going forward as everything electrifies, how are you going to keep the costs down and make it the logical choice for customers?
No, I think you had a good point there, because the hybrids today, I mean, they are hybrids offering lower fuel consumption, but they also offer a lot of power. 400 horsepower or T8 from a 4-cylinder engine, so it replaces a 6-cylinder engine, which of course then we have a good cost position for that. Looking forward, when you go down with hybrids into lower horsepower brackets, you have to reduce the costs, and that's where we will come in with smaller petrol engines and also not so complicated hybrid system.
In terms of scale of the business, 10 years ago 341,000 cars, this last year 571,000. How big do you want Volvo to get and how quickly?
Yeah, we have talked about since really 2011 we launched a program. I think we were then on around 400,000 cars a year, and then we said 2020 we should have 800,000. And we should have a decent profitability. I think we said 8% operational profit. And right now I would say we are very much on track to deliver that in 2 years' time. So that is, of course, we have then in what is it, 8 years, double the size of the company, and really there is nothing saying that we could not, with all of this products we do, the electrification, that we could continue growing with that rate per year.
So with all the products coming down the line, there'll be plenty more options to have these cars flying to this 850-ton block of concrete.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is really the most important, that we continue developing the cars to really have them attractive for the consumer. Then I'm quite sure we will continue growing as we have done.
Håkan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm James Wright. Thanks for watching Marketing Media Money. To check out more online videos, just click on the boxes, and don't forget to subscribe to the CNBC Live channel at the bottom of the screen.